Hello Jeff and Justin, here's your brake booster, the one that theoretically or allegedly had been previously rebuilt and was ready to install. It was everything that you can imagine was wrong with it, that could be wrong with it, was wrong with it. Let's start with the vacuum can. Took two. This is your original vacuum can. I still have remnants of silver paint on here. That silver paint was just tenacious as heck. Anyway, so this is an exchange can, one that's good to go. It's been plated. Now, just painting it silver on the outside doesn't do you much good, except makes it look pretty. The important thing is the interior of the can, so that the diaphragm has something to seal against and write against. And this can has been cadmium plated, which is a lot more durable than zinc, and also you can see it's a little bit dustier looking color, but that's what's original. And what you can see down here are the pits. See those rust pits? Well, they're just going to continue to rust and flake off rust, and it's going to tear up the diaphragm, and it just isn't, it's not acceptable. It will not work. The booster would fail. We've also got a remanufactured air filter assembly, which you can see right there. Not only do you have a sealing surface right there, but there's one underneath here, and that's the one that usually fails and your booster will not function. This piston goes inside here, and I have no idea how they could screw this one up, but these little dog legs that stick out, they're splayed out, they're bent, and it hangs up, so that's been replaced. This is a piece of rubber that was in here. It doesn't even belong to this booster, but it's going back with your expendables. Got your vacuum check valve rebuilt. Honed the slave cylinder. It had not been honed previous. Got the stack inside here all set. Oh, I've upgraded you to stainless steel bleed screws. You don't need to worry about bleeding this part of the booster. Just bleed here. Start here, do a lap around the car, then end up here, and do that 2 or 3 times, and you'll have the system bled. Let's see what else. I've got the old vacuum diaphragm. We'll go back to you. That was just soaked in brake fluid and was no longer usable. All right, now then to the test. We've got this is a test port right here, and it's going to lead to this gauge right here. And so this is a test port that you can use when the booster's on the car. What's going to happen is both gauges are going to read the vacuum as supplied by my vacuum pump on the test machine, and then when the booster is activated, this gauge is going to go to 0, and 0 represents the booster fully activated. This gauge is going to stay and monitor the vacuum on the booster, so we don't have a leak on either side. Over here we've got input and output for the hydraulic. This is the input right down here, and the output. And by the way, I was going to mention that when you're installing this fitting down here, don't install the booster and snug it down and then go back and try to install this fitting down here. It will not work. You need to install this fitting first, and then install it loosely so that your brass fitting and hollow bolt will move. Then install the booster, and then you can access the hollow bolt for final tightening. But if you do it backwards, you will have to end up having to take the booster out, at least raise it up at least about an inch or so. Back to our input. Both gauges are tied together. This gauge goes up, maxes out. This gauge goes up, reads input as supplied by the booster of the machine, and that's going to max out at 350. Over here we've got the output, and this gauge goes up, maxes out, and this reads final output as supplied by the booster under vacuum. Now then, without vacuum, the booster is inert and it simply passes fluid through it. Just bypass, just supplies, just fluid just goes right through it. So you'll see that because the input's going to be the same as the output. All right, input 350. Output 350, output 350. Now we're going to hit with vacuum. Alright, booster is fully activated. I forgot to mention that this is a 2-to-1 boost ratio, so whatever you see here, it's going to be doubled over here. $350 in, at least 700, 800, 900 out. Now then, while we're under pressure, we check our bleed hole down here that I mentioned earlier. That bleed hole is right down here. Make sure the bleed hole is not seeping. Make sure we're not seeping fluid around the jam nut right here. Here's what it looks like. One fell swoop. My vacuum pump's a little weak. It takes a bit to get vacuum up there. Under pressure. Bleed screws are holding. Alright, got a good booster for you. I also recommend that you use a big wrench to stabilize the slave cylinder when you do the final tightening on your fitting right here. This jam nut is designed to hold this slave cylinder in place, and so it doesn't twist on you, but it's not designed to overcome potential tightening down of this fitting right here. So just keep that in mind. I think that's it. We've got a good booster. Holds vacuum. Oh, this and this is all your vacuum check valve and your fittings right here, including the correct red fiber washers. All right, thank you very much for sending it. Appreciate it.